Okay guys, welcome to another VR response line. I don't really do many of these, but this one is to Mr. Novabug. Chris, he has a feature called it's the Friday Foursome, and what he does is, I think it's one a month he puts out. He will ask you to name 4 of whatever the subject he's actually talking about. They're always good fun. I've done I think the last 3. Now this is the first one he's put out for about 5 months, so I thought I'd give it a go. There's been quite a few other people putting out responses to it. It's always interesting to kind of read other people's thoughts and opinions. So what he's asking is, what were your 4 most anticipated consoles? Now, I don't know whether he means computers as well, but I'm going to go for computers because I've not actually owned that many consoles. So I'm going to go for basically any hardware that I have bought and anticipated greatly. First one, let me think. I've not really given this much thought. I mean, I've owned and indeed own a lot of systems, but what ones really got me excited? I can't say. I mean, the Commodore 64 was my first one. That was a big one. That was a big one, but I didn't anticipate it, if that makes any sense. I mean, I saved up the money and bought it. In fact, I didn't save up the money. I went out and bought it on credit, paying, I think it was £15 a month. So when I wanted it, I just went out and got it. So I didn't really anticipate that one so much. I think the first system that I really was looking forward to getting was the Atari ST. The reason being is I was a C64 man, you know, playing 8-bit games, and then I started to see articles talking about this new machine by Atari, and it was 16-bit. That didn't mean anything to me at all. A computer was a computer. But then when they started posting like screenshots of games, this just looked unlike anything I'd ever seen before. It's hard to really it's hard to describe just the impact that 16-bit computers actually had. I mean, you know, all we had was stuff like the Atari 2600, and then we went up to like the 8-bit computers, the Spectrum, the Commodore. I mean, the Commodore was a fantastic machine, you know, had some nice graphics, but also some really god-awful graphics. And the picture that first caught my imagination was International Karate on the Atari ST. It just looked unbelievable. Now it wasn't the version of International Karate that went on to be released. It looked different. They obviously must have got somebody to work in it, and then they realised this isn't working, and I think they got Archer McLean to put out the version that we all know and love. But this other version, it looked better. It looked so super colourful. If I can find a screenshot of it, I'll put it up there. If I'm pointing and there's nothing up there, it's because I couldn't find the screenshot. But yeah, I saw the picture of that, and I mean, I'd had my Commodore 64 for probably, I don't know how many years, maybe 4 years, and I knew at that point that was what I wanted. And you know, we eventually bought one through credit again, but the excitement of getting it. Now, the other part that Chris is asking, was that anticipation justified? When I first got the Atari, yep, the graphics were just incredible. You know, I think one of my first games was Barbarian by Psygnosis Software. The graphics were incredible. The operating system, using a mouse, I mean, I've never seen a mouse in my life until I got my Atari, was amazing. But I've got to say, the one big disappointment, and it was a big disappointment, was the sound. Going from a Commodore with the SID chip, the sound just, it was backwards. It was a backward step for me, going from a C64 to the Atari ST. Now I know later on they started to kind of get to grips with the sound chip and use digitised graphics or digitised sound, but it just felt, I was disappointed to go from the wonderful Commodore 64 sound to the Atari ST sound. So was it justified? Partly. I wouldn't say I was blown out the water with it. Second machine I'm going to go for is the one I went from Atari ST to, and that was the Commodore Amiga. I first heard about the Commodore Amiga watching a program called Micro Live. It was a BBC program, and they showed, it was all very, very serious stuff. They showed you different computer systems, and they talked about not the internet, they talked about modems and hardware. It was all very, very kind of boring, but I always remember in this one episode they said that in next week's episode they're going to unveil the latest computer by Commodore, and it's a Commodore Amiga, and they had a Commodore Amiga on a table with a blanket over it, and they showed you this thing sitting here, and I couldn't wait for the next Micro Live to come on, which I watched. And like most people, when I first saw the bong demo, which was the big ball bouncing about in the sort of like the wall, the sort of box type thing with the squares and that on it, I saw that. And then another famous one was the juggler, which was like rendered a guy juggling, a robot type thing, juggling these balls, and you could see the reflections in all the balls. It just looked incredible. And I got to say, when we found out, when I say we, I mean my mate. My mate had the same computer as me. We found out there was a shop in Edinburgh where you could actually take your Atari ST to and trade it in and pay money and get an Amiga. That's what we did. We ran through one Saturday and we came back clutching the Amiga 500, complete with a big sticky out modulator, which was a terrible bit of hardware. You had this huge computer, then you had this other bloody modulator which was about that wide, and it stuck out. It made the Amiga about sort of yawn kind of width. But the rest is history as far as I'm concerned with the Amiga. Just the sound was just to die for. The graphics were incredible. I used to spend half my time watching demos and that kind of stuff. So the Amiga was the big one for me. It just blew my mind. It really did. That's number 2. Number 3, let me think. What was ST? I got a SNES, a Game Boy. Can't say any of them were groundbreaking. I mean, they were amazing, but they wouldn't be in my 4 most anticipated. I think the next one would have to be the PlayStation, the Sony PlayStation. You couldn't, when we were using, what was I had? Yeah, I had a PC at that point, and it was all VGA graphics and that kind of stuff. I think eventually I'd bought a 3D graphics card for the PC, which obviously made things look a lot nicer, because before 3D accelerator cards came out, it was a VGA or Super VGA. Super VGA was like a higher res graphics, but basically the processor was underpowered, it couldn't generate it. So if you ran any game in Super VGA, it jerked along. It looked alright, but it played crap. So then they brought out these 3D accelerator graphics cards. Was it Voodoo Effects? 3D Effects? Voodoo? I can't remember exactly what it was called. But then, being I used to buy all the sort of latest computer magazines. There was news of this soon-to-be console by Sony. It's like, Sony? You mean the people that make the Walkman? It sounded absolutely bizarre that a company that makes hi-fis were going to be bringing out a gaming console. And then shortly after, there were screenshots of Tekken, what was it, Jumping Jacks? A sort of 3D jumping type game. And then the one that blew my mind was, what do you call it, Ridge Racer. And Destruction Derby, that was one of the sort of first ones. So when I saw that, I was hooked. I had to get this machine, absolutely had to get it. So get it I did. I saved up my money. I think I probably sold hardware. Like I said, back in the day, you couldn't afford to have more than one computer. So if you wanted to get a new machine, you had to sell what you had. So I think I sold. I didn't sell my PC, but I think I sold the SNES to fund the the PlayStation. And I went up to Toys R Us. I got that, I got Destruction Derby. I think I only had the one game, because the games were 60 quid at that point, 55 quid I think they were. And yeah, Destruction Derby was incredible, but it's when Ridge Racer arrived, I think that came out a few months later, it just it just blew my mind to smithereens. You know, here was a game that was running. You could go to the arcade and watch it, and as far as I was, as far as I was concerned, this was virtually arcade perfect. And you're playing it. You're not playing it on a little monitor. You're playing it on a big TV. I mean, I don't know what TV I had back then. I have no idea. I mean, widescreen TVs or big plasma TVs didn't exist back in, when would it be, 1995. It was probably like a 30-inch telly, but going from a monitor, a small little monitor on your PC, to playing this arcade perfect Ridge Racer on your TV was just incredible, absolutely incredible. So that is the machine. That is number 3, the machine that I anticipated hotly, and it didn't let me down. An incredible machine. Probably hasn't aged particularly well, but you know, that's for another video. And the last one, let me think. You know what? I'm gonna kind of play a bit of curveball here. I mean, I went from obviously the PlayStation to the PlayStation 2. I kind of bought the PlayStation 2 late on actually. I got the Xbox. I always felt that the jump between hardware from that point on, although it was nice, it was never, to me, it didn't blow my mind. I mean, going to the 360 was nice. You know, it was like HD graphics for the first time. You could plug it into an HD TV, a plasma TV, whatever it was, and it looked really, really nice. But I can't say any of these systems were like hotly anticipated. I'm going to go for something a wee bit different. About 3 years ago I should say, when I started going to the computer club in Edinburgh, one of my mates, Dave, he was talking about, he had this thing called a MAME cab. Now, I've been playing MAME since 1997, and I've always had to use, you know, my PC, my joystick, whatever it is. But my mate Dave told me he'd built this MAME cab. Now, I went through to his house to see his one, and it's a full size, you know, standy uppy arcade machine, and he's got the big monitor, and it looked incredible. I have always been a massive fan of the original, you know, games, the classic video games. They're still my favourite sort of gaming type. And I said to Dave, look, would there be any chance, what would be the chance of you building me one? And he's like, yeah, that wouldn't be an issue. So I paid him to build me one, and I mean, I think he did say to me after I got it, he would never ever do it again. He says, it's a labour of love, he says, but the amount of hours that he put into it just wasn't worth, you know, what I was paying him. But when Dave started the build, he was sending me, he would send me photographs, post them on Facebook of my cab, and honestly, I was so excited. I mean, I've never been that excited about getting something than probably when I got my first computer. It just, I was so excited about getting it, you know, getting this machine to play all these classic games. But this time I was going to have 2 joysticks, I could play Robotron, all these fire buttons. It was going to be amazing, and it took Dave a bit longer to actually get the thing finished. But when he phoned me, or he told me, right, it's ready, I went through my mate Ian to Dave's house, and what Dave insisted on me doing was putting a scarf around my face so I couldn't see it. And then what he did is he walked me into his kitchen, and then he took the scarf off and like revealed this thing. And I've got to say, when I took the scarf off, here was this full-size arcade machine. I can't remember what game it was. In fact, it was running. You had it running Robotron. It's got the Robotron Beazle. I was just like, wow, that is incredible, absolutely incredible. It blew my mind again. I know I keep using that phrase, but unbelievable. And I couldn't wait to get this thing home. And I mean, I've still got it upstairs. I still use it regular. It's one of my favourite bits of hardware. I mean, I've since built the small little RetroPie type thing, but this full size thing is just incredible. And you know, to me, I know some people would probably say, well, it's just a computer and in a shell, and that's basically what it is. But then, isn't every arcade machine? You know, people will argue it's not the real thing, but to me it's the real thing. You know, it's got a 20-inch monitor, I've got proper arcade controls, it saves the scores, it's just absolutely wicked. So that is going to be my most anticipated bit of hardware, number 4. So the first one was, what was my first one again? Was Atari ST. Second one was the Commodore Amiga. Third one was the Sony PlayStation, and the fourth one was my main cab. So that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed watching it. I will put a link to Chris's original video below. As usual, thank you very much for watching.